Defining the friend zone. What is it? The friend zone describes a situation where one person desires a romantic relationship with another who only wants friendship. It's characterized by an imbalance of romantic interest. One person has romantic feelings, while the other sees only friendship, creating an emotional asymmetry. This situation can lead to feelings of frustration and emotional limbo for the person seeking more than friendship. They often feel stuck, hoping for a change in the relationship dynamic. The friend zone typically arises when there are misaligned expectations. Often, a friendship develops first, followed by romantic feelings from only one person. Unclear communication and different perceptions of interactions contribute to this situation. The friend zone is characterized by unrequited romantic feelings, where friendship continues despite this imbalance. The person with romantic feelings often holds on to hope for change, which can lead to tension or distance in the relationship. In summary, the friend zone represents a mismatch of romantic and platonic intentions between two people, resulting in an emotional disconnect that can be challenging for both parties to navigate. Many experts now argue that the friend zone concept is largely a myth. The term, which originated in pop culture, oversimplifies the complex nature of human relationships and has been increasingly challenged in recent years. The friend zone narrative is problematic because it implies an entitlement to someone's affection in exchange for kindness or support. This perspective suggests that being nice to someone means you've earned their romantic interest, which can create resentment when these expectations aren't met. Affection and intimacy should not be viewed as transactional. Emotional connections aren't contractual obligations that can be earned like currency. Healthy relationships develop organically based on mutual attraction and compatibility, not through a system of exchanges. The friend zone narrative can cause significant emotional harm. When someone believes they've been friend zoned, they may experience feelings of rejection and resentment. This can damage potentially valuable friendships and create unnecessary pressure in relationships. The friend zone narrative perpetuates unhealthy expectations about how relationships should form. It encourages people to blame friend zoning rather than recognizing natural incompatibility. It also overlooks the inherent value of genuine friendship by framing it as a consolation prize. To move beyond the friend zone myth, we need to reframe the conversation around relationships. This means focusing on mutual respect and clear communication, recognizing that no one owes anyone romantic feelings, and valuing connections for what they genuinely are, rather than what we wish they could be. In both platonic and romantic relationships, respect and boundaries form the essential foundation. Boundaries are essential limits that define where you end and others begin. They establish what behaviors are acceptable and protect your values, comfort, and emotional well-being. Emotional boundaries protect your feelings, perspectives, and wishes. Strong emotional boundaries include paying attention to your own needs and being comfortable saying no when necessary. When someone doesn't reciprocate romantic feelings, the healthiest response is to accept their decision. Accepting rejection gracefully demonstrates respect for the other person's boundaries and shows emotional maturity. Understanding the difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships helps us recognize and honor boundaries appropriately. Here are some practical tips for honoring boundaries. Listen actively when others express their limits. Ask for consent before crossing personal spaces. Acknowledge and respect when someone says no, and communicate your own boundaries clearly. Respecting boundaries builds trust and forms the foundation of all healthy relationships, whether platonic or romantic. Communication plays a crucial role in navigating relationship dynamics, especially when romantic interests are involved. Clear communication can prevent misunderstandings and the painful experience of feeling stuck in the so-called friend zone. Misaligned intentions often contribute to friend zone situations. When one person harbors romantic feelings but doesn't express them clearly, both parties operate under different assumptions. Effective communication is about more than just talking. It involves clearly expressing your intentions and actively listening to understand the other person's perspective. When you develop romantic feelings for a friend, expressing them clearly and respectfully is important. Here are some steps to consider. Remember, expressing your feelings doesn't guarantee reciprocation. The key is to approach the conversation with respect and prepare yourself to accept their response gracefully. Understanding different communication styles can help you express your intentions more effectively. Assertive communication, being direct yet respectful, is generally the most effective approach when discussing feelings and boundaries. Once you've expressed your feelings, it's equally important to be receptive to their response, whether positive or negative. Different relationships have different boundaries. Understanding and respecting these boundaries is crucial for maintaining healthy connections, regardless of the type of relationship. To summarize what we've learned about communication in navigating the friend zone, clear communication is the foundation of healthy relationships, helping to prevent misaligned expectations and the pain of unrequited feelings. When examining the friend zone concept, it's crucial to understand the difference between genuine friendship and entitlement. True friendship is built on mutual understanding, genuine support, respect for boundaries, and valuing the relationship for what it is. These healthy foundations contrast sharply with entitlement in relationships. Entitlement in relationships manifests as expecting romantic reciprocation, viewing kindness as currency, feeling owed for friendship, and harboring resentment upon rejection. When comparing healthy friendships to entitled attitudes, we see fundamental differences in how relationships are valued and respected. Setting healthy boundaries is essential in all relationships. This means clearly communicating expectations, accepting rejection gracefully, recognizing the inherent value of friendship, and respecting others' autonomy. By understanding the difference between genuine friendship and entitlement, we can foster healthier relationships based on mutual respect rather than expectations of romantic reciprocation. In recent years, there has been a significant rise in the appreciation for platonic intimacy. Platonic intimacy refers to deep, meaningful connections with others that are not romantic or sexual in nature. These relationships are built on mutual respect, shared interests, and emotional support. More people are prioritizing friendships equally to romantic relationships. Research shows an increased recognition of friendship's impact on mental health, and there's a rise in intentional friendship-building activities. This growing interest in platonic connections has led to the development of friendship-focused applications. Bumble BFF helps users find friends with similar interests, while Friender creates activity-based friendship connections. The Friends Only app focuses exclusively on platonic relationships. Strong platonic relationships offer numerous benefits, including improved mental health, diverse perspectives, emotional support, reduced loneliness, expanded social networks, and an enhanced sense of belonging. Cultivating platonic intimacy involves prioritizing quality time together, practicing vulnerability through deep conversations, offering consistent support and presence, and respecting personal boundaries. Friendships deserve to be valued for their own sake, not as consolation prizes or stepping stones to romantic relationships. They are essential to our well-being and happiness. The concept of the friend zone has been criticized for reinforcing outdated gender norms and sexist attitudes. It's often seen as a way for some people to avoid acknowledging a lack of interest from others, instead blaming the friend zone for their romantic disappointment. Traditional gender norms establish rigid expectations about dating and relationships. These norms suggest men should pursue women, while women should be passive recipients of attention. Within this framework, rejection becomes viewed as a personal failure rather than a normal part of dating. The friend zone concept perpetuates several harmful patterns. It devalues friendship as merely a consolation prize, portrays romantic rejection as unfair treatment, and suggests that kindness should be rewarded with romantic affection. Socialization plays a critical role in shaping our expectations about relationships. We learn gender roles through socialization, media reinforces the friend zone narrative, and these patterns begin in early development. The friend zone concept connects to broader patterns of inequality in society. It reflects power imbalances in relationships, reinforces entitlement to others' attention, and often minimizes women's agency in making their own relationship choices. Moving beyond the friend zone narrative requires valuing friendships on their own merit, respecting others' relationship choices, and challenging stereotypes about gender and dating. It helps to recognize the various levels of friendship that can exist between people. In summary, the friend zone concept often reinforces harmful gender stereotypes. It can mask feelings of entitlement and help people avoid acknowledging rejection. By challenging these narratives, we can create healthier, more respectful relationships based on mutual understanding. Experts emphasize that the friend zone is often a self-constructed narrative, not necessarily a reflection of the other person's true feelings. Psychologists explain that there's often a gap between our perception and reality. We tend to interpret others' actions through our own emotional lens, and confirmation bias reinforces the narratives we create. Cognitive distortions play a significant role in creating the friend zone narrative. These include mind reading, where we assume we know what others are thinking, all or nothing thinking, catastrophizing, and emotional reasoning, where feelings are mistaken for facts. When faced with romantic rejection, people often reframe the experience as being friend-zoned. According to relationship experts, this narrative serves to protect the ego and shifts perceived control away from the other person. Social psychologists point to the self-fulfilling prophecy in relationship dynamics. Our belief that we've been friend-zoned can shape our behavior, which influences how others respond to us, ultimately confirming our initial beliefs. Relationship experts advise questioning our own narratives, recognizing when we're making assumptions about others' feelings, and accepting their stated feelings without creating elaborate stories. The focus should be on clear communication rather than interpretation. The concept of the friend zone is deeply embedded in pop culture and storytelling. From Adele's songs about unrequited love to classic tales like Romeo and Juliet, this theme has captivated audiences for generations. One of the most famous pop culture examples of the friend zone comes from the TV show Friends. Ross's unrequited feelings for Rachel in early seasons exemplify what many consider the classic friend zone scenario. While entertaining, the show often reinforced problematic ideas about persistence despite rejection, suggesting that if you wait long enough, the other person will eventually reciprocate. Let's examine a common real-life scenario that illustrates the friend zone dynamic. Emma and Noah became friends at university. Noah developed feelings for Emma, but never clearly expressed them. When Emma dated someone else, Noah accused her of leading him on and friend-zoning him, despite her never showing romantic interest. This example highlights how friendship can be distorted when one person assumes that kindness equals romantic interest. In internet culture, the friend zone concept has become a popular meme format that reflects common attitudes about dating and relationships. These memes often reflect misconceptions about relationships, assuming signals without clear communication, viewing friendship as a holding pattern, and misinterpreting normal friendliness as romantic interest. Diagrams and charts attempting to map out the friend zone have become common in discussions about relationships. While these visualizations may seem helpful, they often oversimplify complex human interactions and reinforce harmful stereotypes about the boundaries between friendship and romance. In contrast to the problematic friend zone narrative, healthy romantic relationships typically begin with mutual attraction and clear communication. Successful relationships are built on clear communication of intentions, mutual attraction and consent, respect for personal boundaries, and valuing friendship as valuable in its own right. Looking across these various case studies and examples, we can identify several key takeaways about the friend zone concept. Pop culture often romanticizes persistence despite rejection. Real life friend zone situations typically involve communication issues. The narrative can damage genuine friendships, and healthy relationships require mutual interest and clear boundaries. Let's explore how to develop healthy attitudes towards rejection and unrequited feelings. First, acknowledge your feelings. It's completely natural to feel hurt, disappointed, or embarrassed after rejection. These emotions are valid and need to be processed. Processing your emotions in a healthy way is crucial. This might include journaling, talking with friends, or seeking professional support if needed. Practicing self-care and self-compassion is essential after rejection. Focus on activities that bring you joy, maintain your support network, and engage in mindfulness practices to center yourself. Maintaining honest communication is key in any relationship. If you've been rejected, clear communication helps establish new boundaries and expectations. This creates the foundation for a healthy friendship if both parties want that. Each rejection offers an opportunity for growth. Reflect on what you've learned about yourself. Consider if your expectations were realistic, and use the experience to clarify what you truly want in relationships. When supporting someone else through rejection, listen without judgment. Validate their feelings, avoid offering solutions immediately, and simply be present and supportive. Sometimes just being there is the most important thing you can do. Remember, rejection is a normal part of human relationships. When we process our emotions healthily, practice self-compassion, maintain clear boundaries, and view these experiences as opportunities for growth, we develop more fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect and honesty. Perhaps most importantly, remember that the most significant relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Nurturing self-respect and self-understanding provides the foundation for all other connections in your life.